This is the truth about being a self-made entrepreneur. This video is not for the average person. If you're here to be entertained, click off right now. I'm only here to tell you guys a dump of information that I've learned making nearly almost $300,000 in revenue last month. I'm going to make this quick, concise, and just informational. If you want to be making money as a self-made entrepreneur / teenager, whatever age you might be, this is a video that I highly recommend watching. These are the truths that aren't told. I'm going to get straight into it. First things first, I come from a very low income place. There's been times in my life where I didn't have money to eat, the power being shut off, the AC, the heat being shut off, everything like that. Running out of gas on the side of the road. You get the deal. You understand the point. So I decided a couple years ago that if I'm struggling, money is not going to be one of my struggles. I simply am not going to let that happen. So I started my entrepreneurial journey in high school. The first 3 years of entrepreneurship and making content, I made almost no money. And that truly started to change in late 2022 going into 2023. I think it was the beginning of 2023 when I made my first $10,000 month. And that's when I realized mostly everything that we're taught from a young age is just complete BS. I don't hate on people for going to college, but the school system it's BS. It is twisted. I don't want you guys being taken advantage of. So let me explain the school system extremely quickly. If you go to school, you could make good money, especially if you're a doctor or a lawyer, but they are not teaching you how to make money. What they're teaching you is how to work for someone. And if that's what you want, that's fine. You'll have a lot less responsibilities and your life overall will probably be easier. But if you're willing to choose the hard, unsecure life of being an entrepreneur, I highly recommend that. In this life of being an entrepreneur, you have no security at the start. You have to be willing to be broke and poor if need be, but you need to also understand that money is unlimited. It is literally printed by the government. And at the end of the day, what I discovered recently is that it's not something you want to trade your time directly for. I will never work for an hourly rate in my life. Once you listen to what I'm about to tell you, I think you might think the same way. You can literally look at money as energy. What I mean by this is you can pay someone to do physical work, use their physical body, energy, and expenditure on you if you give them something that is basically an infinite resource known as money. Being an entrepreneur, you're basically taking the risk of, hey, I don't want to trade my time for money, but what I do want to do is get as much energy as possible, which is money, and that energy can basically be used as other people. So the risk to reward is as simple as this. If you become successful as an entrepreneur, your energy specifically is no longer on the line. You can't be bought is basically what that means. You get to use your energy freely. And I'm talking about your physical body, like your body's energy. You get to use it at your own will. People who choose the life of working for other people don't have that freedom. The freedoms that they have are a lot different. For example, security. You don't have to worry about really not having a job. Although there's still a risk out there of people with a degree not having a job, it's way easier for them to go work for someone than it would be for someone who doesn't have a degree. But I chose this life. I don't want to be a slave to money. It's infinite resource. It's like a game that you can break. Personally, I want to be the owner of my energy, even with all the risks that comes with, including the fact that I have no security. I could lose everything tomorrow. I work limitless hours. The weekends don't exist to me. Every day I wake up, I work until I go to sleep, and I don't have the freedom of taking breaks, but personally, I think it's worth it. All that being said, let me explain what has changed in my life going from being a very low income household to now making a ton of money, to be honest. First things first, don't get your hopes up. I'm still living in a tiny house with a huge family. Even though I've made a lot of money, I haven't seen it yet. That is another thing about being an entrepreneur and choosing this life path that people don't talk about. Yes, I generated almost $300,000 last month, but all of that money goes back into my system basically. If I were to take this money out of my businesses and let's just say use it for personal gain, I go buy a house, I go do whatever, it runs out. Because keep in mind, I'm not trading my time for money. I'm going to use my money to gain leverage. And that leverage is what is going to give me generational wealth. So my plan as of now is that I'm basically giving up my life for the next 3 to 5 years. I am not going to have freedoms. I am not going to go do fun things. I'm not going to have friends. I'm literally just locking in and making as much money as humanly possible. After this time has passed, that is when I will reap the benefits of what I've done and my life will be exponentially better for eternity. My kids will not have to struggle with growing up poor. My family is going to have complete freedom of their energy. They will literally be able to own their energy and spend it however they want, whether it's sleeping the entire day, going to eat food, or even working if they want to. I am sacrificing myself now for the next 5 years for my future self. This is where you guys really come into play. I want nothing more than to find like-minded people who I can go through this struggle with, because this is a very unique issue to have. Making more money in the month than most people do in a year, yet I literally can't use it. I chose the harder life path. Let's say this didn't work out for me. I will have millions of people watching me and they get to just watch. They can see if I'm gonna fail or succeed. And if I fail, I then become a known face. People will still recognize me. Like literally when I go out in public, almost anywhere I go, I usually get recognized at least a couple times because of TikTok. If I fail, I will literally be known as the guy who is a failure. And nobody's going to talk about this. Nobody will tell you that your life is going to be extremely hard if you choose this harder path. I think that you have to be at least kind of crazy to do this. Now, let's say this does work out. 5 years from now, I have you guys. I have a strong group of young men and women who I can do this with, who I can build and achieve with. It will have all been worth it. Every person who chooses this life at the end of the day is choosing personal freedom. Once again, another thing that nobody will talk about, anyone who does not choose the path that I'm choosing is probably watching this and they think that I'm literally crazy. But if you get me, if you understand me at all, there's hope for you. There is hope that you can regain control of your energy and use it at your own expenditure. And if this video frees even one person, I think this video is worth posting. Please understand that if you choose this life, it is going to be significantly harder than the average life. But the reward, if it works out, is absolutely, indefinitely priceless. So I don't know what to tell you. All I can say is that I want like-minded people to follow me. I want to free you. I want to free you. There's not much else to say. I'm a kid who's 18 who makes a ton of money and can't use it. So as crazy as it might sound, if you want to have this issue alongside me, please let that be known. I'm okay with being alone, but it's definitely better to work in numbers. I don't care if you comment your acknowledgement, subscribe, whatever you want to do. DM me, I don't care. Trust me when I tell you, if you have that little spark inside of you like I do and a lot of other people do, let that be known. We're not crazy. We just chose freedom that a lot of people aren't willing to because it's scary. It might not be fun at times. It might be very risky. I mean, there's no better way to put it. The fact that I've gained over 1 million people to follow me across all my platforms really shows that I'm not alone here. And honestly, I can't wait for the day that I can look back on this video and say that it was all worth it. And even better, if I could sit down with some of you guys and talk about it as well. I have a Discord community. It's linked in my bio if you guys want to join. It's free. And even in there, I've already found a couple of really cool dudes who've been helping me with this journey. They're like-minded like me. They want to be free. And it's absolutely amazing to have some people to talk to. Anyway, even if you don't join that, it's totally fine. I want to have some conversations with you guys in the comments. This is just the start. I've never made a video like this because I guess I was scared, but I think it's really time to just show what I really think. I've had to make countless sacrifices to get here, but at the end of the day, it's 100% worth it. So thank you guys for watching. Peace.